My name is Pat, and for the last 3 or 4 years I've spent one night a week in the Angeles National Forest camping by the river. Now, you can see the hills. The river's down on a sharp bank, and you can see from these hills that the mountains are very, very thick rock with not a lot of topsoil. And you see the hills there. There's very little growth because as you can see over here where there's kind of looks like a road cut, it isn't. The bare rock, there's only small places between the rocks that anything can grow. And over on the other side, on the bank, the only place there where you see trees is in a crevice or someplace where topsoil could accumulate. Up at the top there, they started a road years ago and then abandoned it, and I think that they have planted trees up there. For whatever reason they do that. Now we're getting over to the bank, and you can see the bank, it's all hard rock. And here's the river, and it's kind of a nice place to be. One time I went down and tried to climb up the other side, which may look easy, but I couldn't get as far as the tree there. Up at the top you see some stone structures, and those are part of holding like drainage pipes coming down from the top road, and those were done maybe in the 70s. I'm not really sure when they started to build a road. I know that there used to be a road, this road by the river used to go all the way up and through to the other side of the big mountain range, which is like Wrightwood. And it was, I believe it was in the 30s that it washed out and they never rebuilt it, which is why there's a structure. If you go to the end of the road here and then you hike 5 miles, there's a structure they call the Bridge to Nowhere, where I can't hike that far. Okay, now you'll notice on this side of the mountains up near the top, let's see if I can zoom this in. You should notice there's some little white spots there, and those white spots are where rocks are so heavy that you're seeing them through the foliage. Now, I don't know if you can see, let's see, it's hard for me to see in this screen here, that there seems to be like a little bit of a trail coming down the top of that mountain. I don't really know if it is a trail or not, because when you look at the maps, they're not that detailed. But I'm coming here for several years before I ever got concerned with Bigfoot. And there used to be, this place used to be crowded, it used to be like the beaches. And there were a lot of prospectors here, and nobody ever mentioned seeing Bigfoot. There's cougars. I even saw a bear once crossing here in the night, but no one's ever mentioned Bigfoot. Now, it's my belief that Bigfoot would not come to this river, because look at the, how hard it would be to get here. There's a few places here where you can camp, but they only go back 10 feet. So anyway, when I started getting involved with Bigfoot, I started thinking like, well, this is a big national forest. It goes way over to, I think, the San Fernando Valley. And in the like 50s and 60s, there were reports of Bigfoot there. Some of them had 3 toes. And I mean, it would be impossible that they're not there today. I mean, this forest is bigger than some states. So I decided to consider the fact if Bigfoot was here, probably would not ever be in this area, because, I mean, look how hard it is to get down to the river and how hard it would be to escape. And when there's, you know, hundreds of people here, you know, I think Bigfoot would be very concerned not to be seen here. Last week when I was here, and usually for the last year or so when I camp here at night, I'm generally the only person here. And then in the morning, couple of girls camping down there where you can't even see a tent came up to use the bathroom. So anyway, my concern is what would you look for to see if Bigfoot is here or not. Now, one thing I want to mention is when I show this mountain here and you see the white marks, which are stones coming through. Okay, now when you go over to this peak, you see lines between the bushes, which could possibly be a trail. I'm not sure if it is or not. But since they say that Bigfoot are ridge walkers, if they were to come down here to get water, that would be the way they'd have to come. So now I'm going to go to a different area and we're going to take a look and see if we can find any evidence that Bigfoot might be here. I'm now on the upper road, which they're doing strange things to up here. The maintenance up here is amazing, especially for a road that dead ends very quickly. Let's see if you, I don't know where. Okay. Now, I'm still learning how to use this machine. We're looking down over the riverbed here, which has moved to the other side of the main road down there. And you can see the hills. This would be on the south side of the river. And you can see these hills are all covered with brush. And they go back several times. Once again, you see what could be trails coming down, but I don't think they are. Okay. About less than a year ago, there was a forest fire here that was considered to be a major fire, and 6,000 acres burnt. And they burnt on this side of the river. Now we're at the upper road, but you can see the hillsides here. Even though you seem to see soil and a lot of grass, the bedrock is so heavy under here that the fire passed quickly. Very, very little burnt, and it went so fast that most of the things that burned are coming up again. Now this is like a road cut, and I don't think this even burned, because it's a lot of dry stuff that would have gone up fast. I think the fire came around the other side, but it burned a whole section of mountains back here that there's pretty much nothing there. I've gone to Google Earth and can't find anything interesting. There used to be rumors that there were like people that came up here and had pot farms that and they'd kill you if you came up here. But I could see no evidence of that from Google Earth. Maybe I don't know where to look. And also when I pointed out the trees I believe were planted below, these are the trees. And I really don't know why they do what they do up here, because for a road that just ends, it's just almost suspicious how many road workers are here and how much is done with I don't know, there's telephone trucks or stuff, and this has been like all the time they come up here for about 4 years. There's so much road work going on that it just seems very strange considering places that don't have it done. This is further down the hill, And you can see to the south of the river that once again we have all these mountains that are covered with brush, and some places a little thicker than others. Down below here, this was, I believe, in like the 1850s maybe. This was a place called Follows Camp, and there was a lot of gold mining that went on, usually further down than where I started. And some group has taken over Follows, and they're clearing out, and there's like little roads that go up to water tanks, and there's a number of little houses that are through here. Now, the other side of the road, and this is the main road, not the road up the hill. This was where it burnt literally down to the road, and you can see that as far as we can see here, it's all green to the south, all burnt to the north, but it's all coming back. As a matter of fact, everything was closed, to fight the fire for, I don't know, three or 4 weeks, and then 2 weeks later it was opened up again, and for the places we can go, you could really see no difference. One thing that's been happening, you'll see a lot of road work, like stonework, gutters. This was mostly, some was done in the 70s, a lot of it was done in the 40s, because I'll see some markers on bridges that will say 1947. One thing that's interesting is, and this could be happening in forests all over, that the Forest Service is blocking off any side places people used to be able to go. And they've been putting these high berms along the edge, which isn't too bad. I guess that might stop your car from running into the river if you were crashed or something. But some of the things that they're, cutting off, it really restricts where anybody can go. And a lot of the places were legitimate roads. Okay, now I'm going to go. Okay, wait, here's another thing. Now you look up at the top here. Now if you see something that looks like it's white and looks almost like it's a stick or a bar, those are the stalks of yucca plants. We have quite a yucca bloom here seasonally, and there's still the remnants of them. Sometimes you see them all over. Now, if you look at this hill here, I don't see the trail right at the top, but just beneath the top you'll see a section of what could be a path, and then down lower here you'll see a section of what could be a path. I don't know, if it's a path. I don't. This might be a place, if there were Bigfoot, that they would come down here, because this whole Follows Camp, there's almost never anybody here. Supposedly it was bought by like sheriffs and policemen, as a group. And even though there's been a lot of work done, you almost never see anybody here. So now we're going to go down to a place where I think it's possible there are trails that Sasquatch would come down to the water, or not. We'll see. This area is farther down, and what you see here at the end of the road, there's a curve there. It's an area where it's like a prison firefighting place. And years ago, I was the first woman counselor who made it in a men's prison. And in one of my dorms, I had a team of firefighters, and they would bus them up, and they'd stay up here a week. And one time I was invited up for a demonstration where they had like an artificial water leak that they put bags on, and didn't stop it but slowed it down. And well, probably if I knew more about such things, I would have been more impressed. The camp has this whole area you'll see there's trails and they go up and wind up around the hill. Well, this, I believe, was an old trail, and it, I think they use it for hikes, for darn truck. They think they can use the road anytime. Anyway, I think they take hikes to keep their firefighters in shape. One thing that's interesting is, first of all, you almost see no water flow anymore. There is some, but it's just highly reduced. There hasn't been any rain for at least 2 years. It's really dry. And examining a map of all the backcountry, you almost see no springs or anything marked within like 20 miles or more. And so it would be possible, if there was Bigfoot here, that they would have to come to the river to drink. Now, one thing I want to point out is at the top of the mountain up there, you see a cut that comes down, which I believe was like where they clear for fire. But then I noticed that, let's see if I can go way, and let's see. I'm using a little Votto Generation 3 camera, and it's not really expensive. It's really a great camera, but it's not always easy to see through the viewfinder. And it was last week I didn't figure out how to push the button to go in and come out. Anyway, I hope you'll be able to see that you see the wide path, but then you also see a narrower path that was made by presumably humans, or could it be Bigfoot? Now it looks like it ends, it actually branches off the other side of the little, where it stops, there's a hill, and it goes the other side of the hill and winds down. Now, on the other side, it seems to just come up from an area of this same winding trail. So I don't know, would a Bigfoot use it? I don't know, and I sort of don't think so, because there are places downstream where it looks like they might have been using it. Now we're told that Bigfoot is a ridgewalker, and most of these, like lines that come down, which would be considered ridges, they're just covered with bushes like everything else. Occasionally there'll be one that's bare because there's so many rocks that just nothing can grow on that edge, I'm guessing. Now, this side of the road, this is pretty lush. Down a little further, it's so rocky that the bushes look almost like they did after the fire. And if you look onto, there's a hill going up there. Let's see if I can, okay, it says, okay, I don't know if you can see somewhat of a trail going up there. I don't know, where does that go to? It's in a place that humans don't have access to. I mean, could it be a trail that Bigfoot was use? Would it be a trail that the goats, mountain goats, or other animals would use? I don't know. I don't really have enough knowledge to see that. You'll also see, okay, close up to where the mountain, this close mountain cuts off, you see pieces of trail that seem to be going up there that look, well, look almost like that they're maintained, and I don't know, I can only guess. So over on this side where it looks like roads, it's the prison area. So anyway, now we'll go further down the hill.